I grew up in Lake Ozarks, Missouri, in a big family. I'm oldest of 7 children. I've got 4 brothers, 2 sisters, and my dad was a general contractor, and like I said, I was the oldest of 7 children, so I was kind of like the heir to the throne, take over the construction company, which I didn't want to have anything to do with construction. So upon Dad retiring from the company, I wanted to get as far away from that thing as I could, so I moved to Montana. And then moving to Montana, started doing a bunch of backcountry skiing and whatnot. It was a great time with friends, and got to spend time in beautiful mountains. I remember the accident is, I remember like when I got off the pommel lift, I remember sliding, falling, I remember like just flailing my arms out trying to stop, and couldn't stop. I kept sliding. I was like, oh, this isn't good. I can't stop. I remember hitting the rocks, and it was that nights out after that, and knocked me unconscious. It's my cerebral. It was my my what is he say? Neuropsychologist. He called it coup counter coup. My cerebral cortex was impacted first with the first blow. That was a coup, and then it was a counter coup. Was my frontal lobe. So it was my cerebral cortex. There was a coup, and the counter coup was my frontal lobe. So the coup counter coup. So cerebral cortex or frontal lobe. That's what the parts that were impacted. I was in a coma for 2 months. They thought that I was be totally dependent. I might be in either a nursing home or a long-term care facility for the rest of my life. The prognosis was that I'd be dependent on other people for the rest of my life. Well, as far as work goes, it immediately affected. I used to drive a truck at an underground mine. It immediately affected my work because I couldn't drive a motor vehicle, so I wasn't working. And as far as my life at home goes, because I guess brain injuries affect sleep patterns. I was having a hard time sleeping, so that affected my life at home big time. So I was having a hard time sleeping. So I spent a lot of time napping at home, which was tough. My wife and I have 3 sons. It's hard to do with the boys at home. My brain was still in a healing process, so I needed trying to catch up on as much sleep as I could. And then I was impulsive because of my brain injury. Didn't have much of a filter. I just kind of come out and blurt things out, and I was trying to cut down on that as best I could. And like I said, I wasn't working. I did pick up a little part-time job as a caretaker at a ranch for a couple out of Georgia. They were into equestrian, barrel riding and whatnot, and obstacle courses. So I helped them take care of their horses. My wife would drive me to work, and then I'd help the people with their horses around the ranch. And so I wasn't working, so to speak, besides the little job I had. And then as far as life around the house goes, I did as much as I could to help around the house. With all the cooking, I just do everything I could to take the pressure on my wife around the house, because she'd been going at it alone with me in the hospital as long as I'd been. I was doing as much cooking as I could. Dishes, taking out the trash, doing all my laundry, trying to do as much of kids' laundry as I could, just doing miscellaneous chores around the house, doing all my honeydews and whatnot. I've had to rely on a lot of people for a lot of things as far as like transportation, getting from place to place is concerned. So it's brought me really close to a lot of people. As far as other family members, like I said, the oldest 7 children with brothers and sisters. My parents and everything, it's brought me really close to them. And then as far as other people going like old friends and everything, it's brought me really close to them. They've just reached out and everything to lend me a hand, and it's really brought me closer to them. And the biggest influence on me has been working hard at the gym, working hard every day, trying to keep up with those 3 boys, and working out really hard at the gym. I got to stay in good shape to try and keep up with those boys. my my physical ability, my physical fitness had gone downhill in the drain. I'd always been in such good shape, and being a backcountry skier, veteran backcountry skier, I was always in impeccable shape, and I couldn't keep up with the kids anymore after my brain injury. So that was the biggest factor for me wanting to come back, was to keep up with those kids. The kids used to not be able to keep up with me. Now as the tables were turned, I couldn't keep up with the kids anymore. My balance wasn't what it had been before. As I get out there, I'd fall over, just look at my skis. I had a hard time with skiing, so it was a huge challenge. I was working with my physical therapist, and he was working my core strength. I was doing planks, and he'd have me stand on one foot, balance as long as I could. He'd have me stand heel to toe, working on my balance. He'd have me stand on one foot as long as I could, and it helped working my core strength and my balance. It helped a lot. Well, one of the biggest challenges now is my memory is not what it used to be. I used to have a memory like a bear trap, and I have to write everything down for me to remember it. If I don't write it down, I won't remember their name. Or I have to write out a planner for my entire week. Write it out like on a Sunday, or plan out a whole week, or I won't even know what I'm going to do that next day. So that's what's tough for me, is my memory isn't what it used to be. I have to plan things out several days in advance, and I refer back to them. And that way, if I can't remember it, writing it down, writing it alone helps cement it in my memory. And if I don't remember it, I can always go back and check it. It's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. And now I'm a certified personal fitness trainer, and I've got the prognosis of being able to drive soon, which I didn't know if I'd ever get to drive again. So now I've got a promising future as far as a job goes, and I've got the possibility to take a driving evaluation soon. So I've got a lot of exciting things coming up in the future. You've got one life to live, and you've got to make the most of it while you've got it. And they say helmet safety is so important. You've got to always wear a helmet, whenever you're, whether you're skiing or bicycling or skateboarding. You have to be so safe with your head, because it only takes one time. You never anticipate it. You never expect. You never anticipate or expect yourself to hit your head. It only takes one time, and you can't anticipate it. You never expect it to happen, but it's all it takes is one time. Just think of how good you were before and how hard you worked to get there. Take that same amount of effort and put it into getting better from this point on, and you'll get to an even higher level than you were before. So I tell them, put as much work into it as you did before, and you'll get to an even higher level. You can't walk in their shoes and feel everything they're feeling, but just show them love and do as much as you can to be with them, and always give them a hand and help them out. You need to understand that brain injury can happen to anyone. It doesn't just happen to me or to other people that they hear about that brain injuries. It can happen to anyone. It can't just happen to people professional boxers or NFL football players. It can happen to anyone. It can happen to kids riding their skateboards at the skate park, or it could happen to anyone, any place, anytime. People always have to be careful no matter what they're doing. You always have to protect your noggin. Go to any length you can to protect your head, because it can happen just like that, and brain injury can happen to anyone. And once you acquire brain injury, you have it forever. So you always have to protect your head.